Test 1 1 2. Test 1 1 2 1 2.
And on the starting lineup for York, Fort Lee Bridgman. Number 1, June Best. Number 5, Max Greenberg. Number 10, Devin Jang. Number 13, Isaiah Valdez. And number 15, Jacob Greenberg. Head coach, Adam Schrager. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. Let's play ball.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome here inside East Gymnasium at Fort Lee for a matchup in the Big North American Division as the Ridgefield Park Scarlets, 3-5 on the season, 0-1 in league play, take on the Fort Lee Bridgemen, 2-6 on the season, and also looking for their first league win. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long. So glad that you could join us yet again for Fort Lee Bridgemen basketball here on YouTube, presented by the Fort Lee Athletic Department. I'm joined alongside Dimitri Nanis and also by Renee Matisich. So glad once again you could be with us to start a brand new year in 2024. Fort Lee's going to be in their home black, Ridgefield Park in their road white and red. Fort Lee has won 4 in a row in this rivalry, including sweeping the 2 meetings last season. And the opening tip is won by Ridgefield Park. Both teams coming in off losses in their last time out. Fort Lee lost to Dumont. Ridgefield Park lost to Dwight Morrow. And the first 2 points of this game already here for Ridgefield Park. And Diego Echeverria. Step back jumper there by Devin Jang is no good. Rebounded inside by the Scarlets. Ridgefield Park is coached by Chris Gaskin, while Adam Schrager on the sideline in his 6th season here at Fort Lee. Pull-up jumper from around the foul line. That's good. Francisco then knocking down the 2-point shot. Hot shooting start to this game for Ridgefield Park. They knock down their first 2 shots and take a 4-0 lead over Fort Lee. Valdez passing it up. June Best from straight away, no good. Rebounded inside by Aaron Kukai, number 23. Johnny back. Kukai, long distance 3, first miss of the night here for Ridgefield Park. Tracking down the rebound is Valdez. Valdez losing the handle as he was trying to go with it up to the hoop. Went cleanly off of him last, so it will be a turnover and possession going back over to Ridgefield Park. 3-5 on the season. They've actually lost their last 2 games, losing to Westwood and Dwight Morrow. Worked back up top to Francisco then, as it's worked around to Johnny Bach. Bach Right through the legs of then out of bounds. Good on-ball defense there by Devin Zhang. Possession will go back over to the Bridgemen. Fort Lee lost to Dumont 57-41 in their league opener earlier this week on Tuesday at Dumont. Huskies jumped out to an enormous 13-4 lead in the first quarter and never looked back as Fort Lee dug themselves too big a hole to try to climb out of. Offense has been hard to come by this winter so far for Fort Lee. Still looking for their first points tonight. Here's Jacob Greenberg getting it off to his brother Max. Jacob with it, being stretched out with the defense. Here's Devin Zhang, the leading scorer for Fort Lee. Jab step, left the shot short. Good defensive play there, and the rebound out to Francisco then. Then getting it down the floor quickly to Echeverria. Around the perimeter. Kukai off balance, trying to kiss it in off the far side of the glass, no good. Max Greenberg looking to push it down the other way. Trail defense behind him. Greenberg tried to go coast to coast, missed on the lay-in. Offensive rebound leads to the three by Jacob Greenberg. He connects on the first three-pointer of the night for Fort Lee. And Fort Lee is now back to within one of Ridgefield Park, 4-3. Echeverria getting it straight away up top. And after Ridgefield Park had connected in the first two made shots of the game, they've struggled since then, and now it's going to be a foul whistled on the floor before the shot. Brian Hernandez was the one who had that initial shot just outside the foul line. That foul will go against June Best. For Best, that is his first foul, team's first, here in the first quarter. Bach getting it over now to the near side, back to the point guard. At 8 points, 3 assists in the loss against Dwight Morrow. Kukai lost the bounce, nearly got called for the travel there. Coach Schrager was pleading his case. Then, going against this zone look, cutting to the foul line, Hernandez. Nice silky smooth finish there from 15 feet. Brian Hernandez on the board for the first time in this game. 6-3 lead for Ridgefield Park. Jacob Greenberg, who has all 3 Fort Lee points, handing it off to June Best. Best trying to body into his defender. Pulls it back out top to Max Greenberg. Back over to Best. Inside of the cutting layup attempt, though. Missed by Devin Zhang. Hernandez will attack and convert on the other side, and that's a 4-point swing. Should have been 2 for Fort Lee. Leads the 2 the other way for Ridgefield Park. They've now stretched their lead to their largest lead so far here in the first quarter of 5, 8-3. Greenberg bouncing it inside to Devin Zhang. Back up top to Jacob Greenberg. Now over to Valdez. Valdez attacking on the baseline, and going to be a foul whistled underneath against Ridgefield Park. That'll be the first scarlet foul of the game. Isaiah Valdez coming off an 18-point performance in the loss against Dumont, his best game of the season. That foul officially went against Brian Hernandez. For Hernandez, that was foul number 1, team's first. Inbound, left all by his lonesome inside was Jacob Greenberg. And the sophomore with all 5 Fort Lee points here in the first quarter. Richmond backed within 3 at 8-5. Then calling for the screen. Mark Martinez into the game for the first time. Parker Choya. Choya watched by Zhang. Worked around, driving underneath the hoop. Extra pass open for 3, but a traveling call whistled against Choya as it would not have counted. Good defense there by the Bridgemen after Cameron Hanna had found that penetration move and tried to kick it out in the near side corner right in front of our broadcast vantage point. Under 3 minutes left to go in the first quarter, 8-5 lead for Ridgefield Park. Looking for their first win against Fort Lee since 2021. Here's Max Greenberg, high arcing 3, doesn't draw anything. A brick as it goes off the back of the backboard. Choya, right to the hoop, got fouled by Best. And it's going to be deemed to be in the act of shooting most likely. That'll send Parker Chilia to the line to shoot two, or is this going to be deemed a foul on the floor before the shot? Looks like Fort Lee gets the benefit of that call. Not deemed to be in the act of shooting. It is the second personal foul, though, against June Best. He's got both Fort Lee fouls in this game. He has to take a seat now. Coming on for him is Christian Bruden, number 21. Fort Lee sloughs into their 2-3 zone. Trying to cut off service inside. The ball is loose. Getting dirty is Valdez. Valdez scrambles and gets it over to Jacob Greenberg. Good defense here by the Bridgemen. Offense still struggling to come alive, but the defense playing their part. Speaking of defense, there goes Ridgefield Park, another steal. Ball was left behind and eventually found its way into the hands of the waiting sophomore, Cameron Hanna. Now Bruden was open down the floor. He beat the Scarlets down in one fell swoop. He gets his first 2 points off the bench. Back to a 3-point margin, 1:45 left to go in the first quarter. Hanna. Skip pass. Choia once again gets called for the extra step. He incredulously looks at his coaching staff and wonders how was that a traveling call? Devin Jang still scoreless in this game. He'll be the one to bring it up the floor. As we approach the final 90 seconds of quarter number 1 here from East Gymnasium. Backdoor pass, beautiful find to give and go, and Devin Jang is on the board. Greenberg with the assist. Now a 1-point lead for Ridgefield Park. Christian Carter in the game as well off the bench. And a double dribble call, a violation against Bach. Will give another turnover back over to Fort Lee as a timeout's going to be taken on the floor with 1:09 left to go in the first quarter of play. And Fort Lee right back into this one. They trail only by 1 as we'd like to thank our Fort Lee Bridgeman athletic sponsors. The losses of Deborah L. Pico LLC, Sedona Tap House, The Finest Construction, and Fort Lee Soccer Club. Jacob Greenberg exploding for 5 points. Greenberg getting the start. Guy Vickers, who normally is in the starting lineup, has not gotten into this game just yet. Here's Jacob Greenberg inbounding it into the backcourt to Devin Jang, who just opened his scoring account on the beautiful backdoor layup. Here's Jacob Greenberg with a defender gambling against him. But Greenberg at that pass, he was trying to get it to Bruden, just a little too low to handle. It skipped out of bounds for the turnover. Full court pressure now being displayed briefly by Fort Lee. Now they'll drop back into their D in the half court. Bach will get it up now to Hanna. Long range 3. That's stuffed at the rim, almost jettisoned itself and stuck into the side. Now Devin Jang taking it down the other way. A chance for Fort Lee to take the lead. Nice up and under by Valdez. Off the assist by Devin Jang. And Fort Lee leads 11-10. Under 30 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Bach getting it over to the far side. Then on the baseline, kicking it around the perimeter. Help defense not in time. Box 3, no good. Jacob Greenberg hustles and gets the rebound. A chance here. They run down the floor, beating the defense down in transition. It's Max Greenberg off another assist by Devin Jang. And Fort Lee with a furious finish there to the first quarter. They will take a 13-10 lead after the first 8 minutes of play. Stick around as we'll be back for the start of quarter number 2 here as you're watching on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Fort Lee leading by 3 after the first quarter of action. Went on a furious run there at the end of the quarter to take control, and a lot of it was just hustle plays to get down the floor against Ridgefield Park and win in transition. Here's Devin Jang, step back 3 from straight away, no good. Rebounded by Ridgefield Park. As the Scarlets will come down this way. Long range 3, that's left short. Subs being made as now Hernandez will come out. And a 5-second violation against Fort Lee. We're not able to get the inbounds in time. And turnovers now giving back possession to Ridgefield Park. 32 seconds gone by in the second. Kukai, scoreless in that first quarter. Get it inside, nice up and under move by Diego Echeverria. First bucket of the second quarter. And this is now also the first time we'll see Guy Vickers on the floor for Fort Lee. The 6'5" junior big man. Onto the floor, Valdez, step back, jumper is good. Isaiah Valdez has found his shooting touch in the last couple of games. Again, 18 points in the last game and now 4 points early here. Back to a 3-point margin in favor of the home side. Bach watched by Devin Jang. Hand off across the lane once again, right to the rim by Echeverria. No hesitation whatsoever for number 13. He aggressively attacked towards the rim. He'll draw the foul, and now with 6:29 left to go in the second quarter, Echeverria will have 2 shots at his disposal. Jang got called for the foul. That is his first, team's first for Fort Lee here in quarter number 2. As Echeverria will switch that first foul shot attempt. The 5'11" senior guard averaging 6 points per game this season. Had a season high 11 points in a game against Mahwah earlier this year. And Echeverria knocks down a pair. 4 quick points for number 13. And it's back to a 1-point margin at 15-14. Max Greenberg hands it off to Valdez. Valdez thought briefly about the 3. Here's Jang with the left-hand dribble. Back over to Max. Max lets the defender fly by him up and under, but he took the extra step to try to get closer. That'll be a travel that will give possession back over to the Scarlets of Ridgefield Park. Last win for Ridgefield Park came here against Fort Lee on February 19, 2021. And the Scarlets won 51-32. That was in the COVID season. Reduced schedule and no real fans in attendance. Turnaround shot by Hanna, no good. Offensive rebound inside though, and another foul drawn by Echeverria. He has been doing the dirty work underneath the hoop. And that'll lead to more foul shots for number 13 in red and white. And a chance potentially to give Ridgefield Park back the lead with 5:37 left to go in quarter number 2. Echeverria missing though on his first opportunity. He's now 2 of 3 at the foul line here in the first half. Echeverria missing a pair. Missed opportunities to the lead still resides on Fort Lee's side of the scoreboard. 15-14, 5.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter. Devin Jang takes his defender off the dribble. That's a tough contested shot, fadeaway variety. But Traeger knows that he can get a better shot from his leading scorer. Here's Bach. Penetration was cut off by Jang. Hannah trying to take Vickers one-on-one. Echeverria now guarded by Vickers on the switch. Good half-court defense right now here in this long, sustained possession by Fort Lee. Shuffling of the feet, no call. Pull-up jumper from the elbow, no good. Greenberg trying to fight and claw for it, and Max comes away with it. And it's going to be a reach-in foul against Ridgefield Park. Foul will go against Johnny Buck, his first, team second, each team with 2 fouls apiece in the second quarter of action. Devin Jang turns the corner, hooked pass up top to Valdez. Valdez in the corner, here's Greenberg underneath, reverse layup is good by Max Greenberg. Beautiful athletic move there for Greenberg. He's got 4 in the half. 17-14, the lead now for Fort Lee. Bach getting it now to Venn. Venn trying to go baseline. Spins his way inside and one. What a patient move. Right to the rim. And a chance at a traditional three-point play for Francisco Venn. At 10 points, 4 rebounds against Dwight Morrow. Had a big performance earlier this season against Indian Hills when he went for 24 points, a season best. And he knocks in the foul shot to complete the three-point play. That levels the score now at 17 all as we approach the midway point of the second quarter. 4 minutes and counting left to go. Across the way. Valdez dumping it down low to Vickers. Vickers used that body to go right into the chest of Echeverria. They weren't falling for the flop. And Guy Vickers with his first 2 points of the evening. And now an offensive foul is going to be at midcourt, and that as Chris Gaskin voiced his clear displeasure. He thought that there should have been an offensive foul on the other end of the floor with Vickers underneath with his defender getting knocked down to the deck. And then a moving screen called against his team at midcourt. Now went against Cameron Hanna, his first, team's third. Jang across the middle. Kind of double clutch there and came up short on his effort. Devin with only 2 points in this game. He's had a rough first half. Hanna across the way. Echeverria. I think that's going to be a travel. Echeverria, one official underneath the rim was about to call a jump ball situation, but I think the official up the floor had the better angle and saw what we saw from our vantage point, which was the shuffling of the feet a bit, leading to the turnover. Neither team scores a lot of points this year. Fort Lee about 43 points a game. Ridgefield Park 45. And there's another bucket for Isaiah Valdez. The 6'1 senior with 6 points. Lead the way in this first half now for Fort Lee. Kukai getting it up top. That is way away from the rim on that shot released by Cameron Hanna. 4-point lead, the largest of the game for Fort Lee. Valdez in transition. Knocks down the 3 ball. Another assist given to Devin Jang. And a timeout taken on the floor with 2:27 left to go in the second quarter. Fort Lee enjoying their largest lead of the game at 24-17. And again, we'd like to thank our proud sponsors of Fort Lee Bridgman Athletics, the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction, and Fort Lee SC. Isaiah Valdez with a game-high 9 points in this first half of play. He has erupted here for 7 of his 9 in the second quarter alone. And Fort Lee now enjoying their largest lead of the game at 7, 24-17. They've gone on a 7-0 run after Ridgefield Park getting out of this game up at 17 all. 2:15 left to go in the second, and that's knocked out of bounds. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Renee Matisic. Thanks for joining us on the Fort Lee Athletics broadcast channel here on YouTube. Nearly a travel there as Ridgefield Park gets it down low, and an easy find underneath for Echeverria. Echeverria now with another bucket here in the second quarter. He's got 6 of his 8 in this quarter. Valdez going with the crossover as both Greenberg brothers handing off to one another. Here's Guy Vickers for 3. Vickers no good. Rebounded underneath. Then getting poked at and still holds on to possession. Each team has committed 3 fouls apiece. 5 will send the teams to the double bonus. 90 seconds left to go in the quarter. Echeverria no good. Rebound underneath by Devin Chang. Coach Schrager trying to instruct him to slow things down here as we're closing in the final minute of the first half. Been a fun one here. You can feel the intensity in a normal league matchup. Valdez got blocked as he tried to reverse things underneath the rim. And Greenberg, was he fouled? And it looks like it will be a foul against Ridgefield Park. That'll be the team's 4th foul, so no more fouls to give for the Scarlets. Foul went against Echeverria, his first, team's 4th. Jacob Greenberg had 5 points, all coming in the first quarter. Valdez trying to establish the high-low with his fellow post player, but that pass was off the mark, trying to get into the hands of Guy Vickers. Turnover will give Ridgefield Park back possession with 63 seconds left to go in the quarter. More full court pressure here as Fort Lee trying to speed up Ridgefield Park, and they nearly force a quick turnover. Ridgefield Park struggling to get it up, and there it is. 10-second violation. Did not have enough time to get it up and over the midcourt stripe. I think Ridgefield Park a little too nonchalant. Lost track of how much time was remaining, and now it's going to be a turnover and possession going back over to Fort Lee after Devin Jang has finished up tying a shoelace. Fort Lee nearly turned it right back over. Francisco then with the full court pressure against Jang. 45 seconds and counting left to go in the second quarter. Fort Lee led 13-10 after 1. And Jang going to get a call for the offensive foul on the push-off. And for Devin, that is his 2nd personal foul in this game. 38 seconds remain before halftime. Both teams now with 4 team fouls apiece. There again is the full court pressure. One of these teams will be 1-1 in league play after tonight. The loser will fall to an 0-2 in the start of the season. Pull up straight away, 3 ball, no good that time by Christian Carter. And it's deflected out of bounds, and we'll see what the call is. The Fort Lee player was out of bounds when the ball was thrown on top of him by the player for Ridgefield Park that was falling out of bounds himself, so that is the correct call. Fort Lee cannot be penalized for the player already being out of bounds. So the possession will go back over to the Bridgemen with 18.7 seconds left to go. It was a good effort, but again, with the Fort Lee Bridgeman player out of bounds already, could not be deemed eligible to then have it deflect off him for a turnover. Here's Devin Jang now approaching the final 10 seconds of the second quarter. Jang step back 3 straight away, gets it to go, his first 3 of the night. Time will run out here for Ridgefield Park. It will not count as Devin Jang gets his first points of the second quarter on a step-back three, and Fort Lee will take an 8-point lead into halftime. 27-19, Bridgman in front of Ridgefield Park. Stick around, fans, as we'll be back for the start of the second half of play, as you're watching Fort Lee Bridgman basketball here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody, inside East Gymnasium as we're moments away from the resumption of play in the start of the second half. Fort Lee on top of Ridgefield Park by a score of 27-19 here at halftime, as the Bridgemen are going to be trying to use this effort to bring home their first league win of the season, and this being game number 2 in the Big North American Division. Dan Long, Renee Matisich, Dimitri Nanis, thanks for joining us for our broadcast coverage of this showdown. Fort Lee also trying to make it 5 straight wins against Ridgefield Park, dating back to 2021. Taking a look at the stats from the first half of play for the Scarlets, they had balanced scoring. Diego Echeverria and Brian Hernandez each with 6 points apiece. Francisco then chipped in 5 points as another offensive spark plug for this team. For Fort Lee, they were led by Isaiah Valdez's 9 points. He scored 7 of his 9 in that second quarter, including a big 3-point shot that he knocked down. Second leading scorers include Devin Jang and Jacob Greenberg, each with 5 points apiece. Fort Lee outscored Ridgefield Park 13-10 in the first quarter, 14-9 in the second quarter to stretch their lead now to 8 at 27-19. Ridgefield Park has yet to knock down a 3-point shot. They're 2 of 4 from the foul line. Fort Lee has connected on 2 threes in this game, but have not had any opportunities at the foul line just yet. After opening their season with back-to-back losses, Ridgefield Park had won 3 out of their last 5 games prior to that loss against White Morrow on Tuesday. And for Fort Lee, they had a win in their last game here at home as part of the Jack Riley Holiday Tournament. They defeated Secaucus 59-33, but then again lost in their last game on the road against Dumont, the reigning champs from a season ago. So we're underway to start the second half of play here in the beginning stages of the third quarter. Ridgefield Park in their road white and red. Fort Lee in their home black and orange. Cross-court pass over to the near side as Fort Lee trying to be patient on offense. Vickers gets the start inside the zone to begin the second half of play. He did not start this game, as it was deflected out of bounds, last touch off of Fort Lee's Valdez. So possession will stay here with the Scarlets. Ridgefield Park has struggled to try to generate some offense here tonight, and seems to be the case on the opening possession of the third quarter. Worked around, Kukai, open for 3, no good. Good position, though, underneath, but it's a loose ball tie-up, and the arrow will favor Fort Lee after Vickers was able to get a piece of that rebound and force the possession arrow to give possession back over to the home side. Here's Devin Jang, who connected on his first 3 of the game just before the end of the second quarter. He's got 5 points now. Jang getting it into Max Greenberg's hands in the corner. Up top to Isaiah Valdez, who's got a game-high 9. Hands it over to Jang. Jang has had some big games here at home this season. A season-high 27 points in their first win against Westwood earlier on this year, back on December 16th. Also erupted for 23 in that win that I just mentioned at the end of the Jack Riley Holiday Tournament against Secaucus. Valdez just went right to the rim, tried to cup it, but lost it on the handle. Shifting gears the other way was Hernandez, but he missed the shot. June Best back into the game, tries the finger roll finish and gets it to drop and avoids taking a charge as well. Best didn't play all that much in the first half because he picked up 2 fouls in the first quarter. His first 2 points, 29-19 lead, 2 minutes into the start of the third quarter. Largest lead of the game for either team is up to 10 points for Fort Lee. Trying to attack on the baseline was Hernandez. Here's Hernandez in the corner, looking for the first 3 of the night for Ridgefield Park. They come away empty, though. Good rebound and a box out by Best. Here's Devin Jang. Jang getting it over. Best trying to tee that up from deep, but he airballed the 3. Ridgefield Park going down the other way. Skipping the pass up top. Hernandez now leaving it over to Bach. Bach shifting gears to the left hand and got fouled as he was entering inside the lane. Foul will go against Max Greenberg, and the foul will be on the floor. Greenberg picked up the foul. That is his second. June Best being subbed off the floor. Foul was on the floor, so no two-shot foul opportunity. Another three-point look for Ridgefield Park. But again, good rebounding on the defensive end. Here's Vickers sidestepping, but they're going to count it. And one as Guy Vickers sidestepped, got hit also in the act of shooting. And he has a chance at a traditional three-point play. Nice Euro step finish. And Vickers now up to 4 points. Had 2 points in the second quarter. Quick two here to begin the third quarter. And Vickers missing on the foul shot, though. He'll have to settle for the two. Lead now grows to 12, 31-19. Another long-range offering in Ridgefield Park is frigid from the outside. Another loose ball tie-up underneath. This time the arrow will keep it with Ridgefield Park. Kukai was desperately trying to get his outside shot falling. He'll be subbed off the floor right now. It was a 27-19 game at the break. Fort Lee has grown that lead by 4 more points here. Not a lot of points between these two teams, again, that are not known for their offense so far this season. Another look from three and another shot left short there by the Scarlets. Vickers with a rebound. Devin Chang thought about the three, and that was going to be from even further out than NBA range. Chang across the lane, kick out, and an offensive foul whistled against Devin. He was a little out of control and stationary underneath to take that charge. Right in the chest was Brian Hernandez. And Devin Chang will pick up his third personal foul in the process. That is the second team foul of the quarter against Fort Lee, so now Devin Chang has to be careful. He's playing with 3 fouls. Hernandez on the baseline, curls around and got fouled in the act of shooting that time by Jacob Greenberg. Might have gotten away with a little bit of a chicken wing there as he hooked around Greenberg underneath on his way up to the rim. Hernandez 6 points in the game, all of which came in the first quarter. And the opening bucket of the game, too. And he misses on the foul shot. Ridgefield Park has missed 3 straight from the foul line in this game after connecting on the first 2. Again, another miss. And the Scarlets just have a lid firmly on that rim that they're shooting at right now. We're coming up on 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter, and Ridgefield Park has yet to score in the second half. Here's Devin Chang. The left-hand dribble. Had the defender fly by him. Fell down to the floor, but no clean contact against him to disrupt that shot. 12-point lead. Jacob Greenberg with a steal. Greenberg trying to go coast to coast. Vickers tried to follow up after Greenberg's initial miss. Vickers again, resilience stayed with it. Vickers with 4 of his 6 points here in the third quarter. And Fort Lee in cruise control right now, 33-19. Wholesale changes at the scores table upcoming for both Chris Gaskin and Adam Schrager. This game starting to get away from Ridgefield Park. Choya getting it over now to Hernandez. The well has run completely dry in this third quarter now for Ridgefield Park. Under 3 minutes left to go in the quarter, and they're still without any points in this frame. Into the corner to Then driving on the baseline. Devin Chang has to be careful there. He's playing with 3 fouls. Then fouled his own miss with a rebound. High arcing 3 in the near side, no good. Fort Lee finally able to snatch that loose ball rebound, but they turn it right over underneath, and a foul. Neve Murray had the initial hard-earned rebound, but then he gifted it away, threw it underneath his own rim, which is the Cardinals' sin in basketball. And benefiting that time was Diego Echeverria for the first 2 points of the third quarter for the Scarlets. Echeverria now up to a game-high 8 points. Now make it 9. Completes the three-point play. He's 3 for 5 at the foul line here this evening. 9 points for Echeverria. Back to an 11-point lead for Fort Lee at 33-22. Jang, fadeaway jumper again. Fort Lee could not get that one to drop. Bruden got tied up, as that's going to be a foul on the floor against Ridgefield Park, and will be only the second foul for the visitors here in the third quarter, while Fort Lee has already committed 4 team fouls of their own. That foul will go against Cameron Hanna. For Hanna, that is his second. And as I mentioned, team second. 2:07 left to go in the third. Up top now to Bruden. Greenberg hands it over to Bruden. Bruden, what a shake and bake move. Had his defender fly away from him, but didn't take full advantage despite the oohs and ahs from the Fort Lee fans. Vickers, step back jumper again, doesn't draw iron. Fort Lee's got to clean up their shooting opportunities here. A lot of tough shots that they don't need to have so tough. They're settling from a lot of outside. Here after the defensive play leads to the transition layup on the other end of the floor for Devin Jang. Jang gets the bucket. He's now got 7. Coach Schrager calls for the timeout with 1:31 left to go in the third quarter. Fort Lee back in front by 13. And thanks to our great sponsors, the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction, and Fort Lee SC. Fort Lee looking for what would be their third win of the season here at home inside East Gymnasium. With wins against Westwood and Secaucus, trying to pick up a league win here tonight against Ridgefield Park. They lead 35-22. Jang up to 7 points in this game. Leading scorer is Isaiah Valdez with 9. Diego Echeverria with a game-high 9 for Ridgefield Park. Here again is the pressure defense. They lofted over the top of the defense, spinning his way inside, but then shuffling his pivot foot was Mark Martinez. Martinez did a nice job of making the catch, having that initial spin, but then lost his pivot foot, and that led to the turnover. Jang pulls it out. Jang being asked to really run majority of the point guard duties in this game. Max Greenberg. Back to Jang, inside to Vickers. Vickers quickly goes up with it after getting hit in the face. A foul there against Ridgefield Park, and Guy Vickers will head to the line for 2 foul shots. Vickers in the most recent home game against Secaucus, 8 points, 8 rebounds. Junior big man missing on the foul shot. He's 0 for 2 at the line here in this game. Got a season high 24 points, 13 rebounds in a win against Mahwah. In the game against Mahwah, I should say, as Vickers rattled that one in and out as well. Still averaging a double-double this season as Vickers, 13 points, 10 rebounds. And another turnover against Ridgefield Park. And it's been that type of night for Coach Chris Gaskin. The Scarlets have scored a grand total of 3 points so far in this third quarter. And only 42.6 seconds remain in the frame. Jang being watched by Francisco then. Vickers looking off the screen, gets it back over to Devin Jang. Jang looks at the scoreboard, 20 seconds left to go in the quarter. High off the glass, no good. Bruting mistimed his jump, couldn't get the offensive rebound. Open down the floor in transition was Cameron Hanna. Easiest points of the quarter there for Ridgefield Park. And despite their struggles offensively, they're only down by 11. They're at 3 off the mark there by the Bridgemen, and the time will expire in a low-scoring third quarter of play. It's Fort Lee 35 and Ridgefield Park 24. Stick around as we'll be back for the start of the fourth quarter of play as you're watching Fort Lee boys basketball action exclusively here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Start of the fourth quarter here from East Gymnasium as Fort Lee leading Ridgefield Park 35-24. They outscored Ridgefield Park 8-5 in that very low-scoring third quarter. Richmond trying to get their third win of the season, move to 3-6 overall, and more importantly, 1-1 in league play in the Big North American. Greenberg made the catch after the pass from Valdez was a little behind him. Greenberg draws the contact against Johnny Back. And Bach, as Bach will pick up the foul. That'll be his second. Team's first of the quarter, and Greenberg was deemed to be in the act of shooting, so Max will head to the line to shoot two. As Greenberg sinks the first foul shot, up to 6 points in the game for the 5'10 junior, who had 9 points, 4 rebounds in the win against Secaucus. Second foul shot also good there by Max Greenberg. Perfect in the line, 2 for 2, 6-point effort there for number 5 in black and orange. Lead back to 13, 37-24. This pressure getting to Ridgefield Park. Scarlet's taking a lot of time to eventually get it up and over. A long-range three. Ridgefield Park still has yet to hit a three in this game. The follow-up attempt by Martinez inside, no good. After he attacked the offensive glass, possession arrow will keep it here with Ridgefield Park. Mark Martinez fighting hard inside the lane to secure that loose ball rebound. Corner, and that time the first three of the game is by Christian Carter for Ridgefield Park. Will that give a little bit of a spark now for the Scarlets? Lead is down to 10. Jang coughs it up. There goes Carter the other way. Carter with a head of steam, not to be denied. 5 quick points for number 10 in white. And there's the timeout taken on the floor. A 5-0 run here by Ridgefield Park has made this single digits. With 6:42 left to go in the fourth quarter, 37-29, Fort Lee in front. Carter connected on the first made three of the game, and then after that last defensive play off the steal, Carter just went coast to coast, was not stopped at all, and just went up for the left-hand layup. So Christian Carter, the 5'10 junior guard, who averages just about 2.5 points per game, doubling up his per game outage, now with 5 points here tonight, all coming here in the fourth quarter. The road ahead for both teams after this one. Ridgefield Park will go home and host Paramus on January 6th before then hosting Dumont on January 9th. For Fort Lee, they will be on the road in their next game at Bergen Tech before coming back home to host arch rival Cliffside Park on the 9th of January, a game that you'll be able to see here live and on demand for free, courtesy of Fort Lee Athletics and our proud sponsors. 90 seconds into the start of the fourth quarter. Fort Lee's got to keep on going offensively, and a 5-second call whistled against Devin Jang. Jang lost all accounts of how close the defender was to him, and the count was given. So Francisco then doing a great job of the on-ball defense. Now has possession back to his team, with momentum now starting to shift onto their side. Christian Carter is the hot hand right now. He's standing in that alley. They hand it off to him. Trying to establish the post down underneath was then. They couldn't get it to him. Gamble attempt there by Jang. Could not get to it in time. Bach across the lane, got fouled, and is it against number 10? If so, that should be his fourth personal foul of this game. It is. The fourth personal foul against Devin Jang. Still with an eternity left to go in this game, 5:55 remaining. So the leading scorer on the season for Fort Lee, and some serious foul trouble here. Johnny Bach will head to the line and sink the first foul shot, his first point of the evening. And here comes Ridgefield Park, down by only 7 now. Still with the clock stopped with 5:55 left to go in the fourth quarter. Joe's 1 of 2 at the line. Hustle for the loose ball, and they're going to say last touch out of bounds off of the Scarlets. This lead was just 13 moments ago. A 6-0 run by Ridgefield Park have the Scarlets believing in a comeback. Again, they have not defeated Fort Lee since February 19th of 2021. Bridgman trying to make it 5 straight wins against one of their arch rivals. Jacob Greenberg has not scored since the first quarter. Jang across the floor. Gets it to the far side wing to Max Greenberg. Establishing Vickers underneath. Vickers lets the first defender fly by him, but he misses on the reverse lay-in. Ridgefield Park down the other way. Then maneuvering. Worked around. Corner 3 ball. No good. Valdez got the rebound, got fouled from behind as well. And Ridgefield Park still remains pretty ice cold here from the outside in this game. Carter was trying to replicate his only 3 of the game. The only 3 for Ridgefield Park. As now Bach limping off the floor. He came down awkwardly, and he'll be looked at by Tom Herr, the trainer here at Fort Lee. Full court pressure being administered now by Ridgefield Park. 3 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Fort Lee has only scored 2 points in the fourth. Now make it 4 after a great take to the rim by Isaiah Valdez. He's got a game-high 11 for Fort Lee. His first 2 points in the fourth quarter, 39-30. Bridgman in front. Then dumping it. Foul line extended to Hernandez, and another reach-in foul against Fort Lee. That foul went against number 5, Max Greenberg. Greenberg's third, team second. Up top now to Hanna. Hanna in the corner. Hernandez thought about it. Instead, pulls up for the mid-range jumper. Missed it, but the putback is good for Mark Martinez. The hoop and the harm. And Martinez a chance at a 3-point play. And Martinez banks in the foul shot. A huge 3 points there. Ridgefield Park down now only 6, 39-33, as the Scarlet faithful behind their bench starting to get loud. Valdez over to Jacob Greenberg. Trying to feed it inside to Valdez, and it's tipped out of bounds. Last touch off of Martinez. 4:11 left to go. We're approaching the midway point of the fourth quarter. Was Coach Gaskin getting a explanation from the official making the call on the deflection? He thought that was cleanly off of Fort Lee last. Things getting interesting here. Greenberg tried to deflect it off the defender, and it actually came out to the open floor. Jang got bottled up in a reach-in foul against the Scarlets. They looked like they had him set for a potential turnover. Instead, it's going to be a reach-in foul. That foul will go against Francisco then. That is his first, team's third. So both teams with 3 fouls apiece here in the fourth quarter. As we're approaching the midway point of the fourth quarter, 4:02 left to go, and we have ourselves a ball game. 6-point lead for Fort Lee. Greenberg left the ball on the floor, and now it's going to be a foul whistled against Jacob. Martinez has become the Energizer Bunny here off the bench in this fourth quarter for Ridgefield Park. He's doing all the little hustle plays right now. He's amped up. That foul against Jacob Greenberg was his second, team's fourth. No fouls to give for Fort Lee for the remainder of this game with 3:56 left to go. (39-33). Fort Lee trying to hold on here. Ridgefield Park with a furious comeback. 3-ball straight away, knocked down by Christian Carter. Carter's got 8 points, all of which in the fourth quarter. And what was once a 13-point advantage has shrunk to 3, 39-36. As Ridgefield Park has made this a game with still plenty of time remaining. I'd like to thank our proud sponsors of Fort Lee Bridgman Athletics, the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction, and Fort Lee Soccer Club. Christian Carter has exploded for 8 points off of the bench for Ridgefield Park here in the fourth quarter. He has knocked down the only 2 threes of this game for the Scarlets. Full court pressure now by Ridgefield Park. Chance of defense emanating from the contingent of Ridgefield Park fans behind Coach Gaskin's bench. Devin Jang trying to find the answer on offense. Again, he's playing with 4 fouls. Over to Valdez, underneath to Vickers. Vickers still holds on to it. Turnaround shot, no good inside. Pinballs around, and the loose ball is tracked down by Hanna. A 3 would potentially tie this game for Ridgefield Park. Again, Fort Lee with no fouls to give and a traveling violation against the Scarlets. A big turnover there. Here's Max Greenberg. Greenberg weaves his way up, gets it to his brother Jacob, wide open for 3, left it short. Martinez with a rebound. Again, the twists and turns of this league game. Across the way, it's then. Giving it up, pull away, and that was a foot on the line. A 2, a long-range 2 by Hanna. And this is a 1-point game, 39-38. Fort Lee desperately looking for some offense here in the fourth quarter. Will Valdez bring it? Handoff is to Max Greenberg. Nobody guarding him. Greenberg open for 3. What a clutch 3 by Greenberg. His first triple of the game, he's got 9. The lead back to 4 for Fort Lee, 42-38. Hannah hands it off to Hernandez. Hernandez got that one fouled as Vicker thought he got all ball. That will be 2 shots nonetheless, as that is the 5th team foul, also in the act of shooting. And that sends Brian Hernandez to the line for 2, where he is 0 for 2 this evening. Foul went against Vickers, his first, team's 5th. Double bonus situation with 1:58 left to go in regulation. Hernandez, good form that time. Bend the knees and let it fly. He's up to 7 points. His first point since the first quarter when he had 6. Make this a 2-point game, and he can't. Missing on the second foul shot. The ball, though, is taken in underneath the rim by Hannah. Up top, Hernandez for 3. No good. Tipped around. Vickers with a rebound. Fort Lee leads by 3. 1:45 remaining. Fort Lee fans getting loud here. They want to see their team hold on to a win against Ridgefield Park. 90 seconds left to go. 91 exactly remaining. 91 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. 42-39 the lead for Fort Lee. As the Bridgemen trying to find their way to their 3rd win of the season and 1-1 in league play. Again, Fort Lee will hit the road in their next contest to take on Bergen Tech before coming back home to host Cliffside Park in that rivalry showdown on January 9th. Ridgefield Park will head home for their next 2 contests, hosting Paramus and Dumont in their next 2 games. Official talking things over with the athletic director, Mike Raftery, here at Fort Lee. As I think a couple of people have been asked to leave. A lot of chirping that's been going on from the student section. So now the inbound for Fort Lee. Coming up in the final 90 seconds. Valdez getting it into the corner to Jacob Greenberg. Double team coming to him. Lost his dribble and threw it blindly away to a turnover. Ridgefield Park going the other way, but no basket. It's going to be a shuffling of the feet and a turnover for Ridgefield Park. It's almost like they were rushing too much there. They had a 2-on-1 developing and dragged their pivot foot before they could throw the pass. Devin Jang across the middle and left it short. Ball loose on the floor, a tie-up. Jacob Greenberg trying to hustle. And the loose ball tie-up it should be. We'll see, is it a timeout or possession arrow? The men in stripes will confer with one another. If it's possession arrow, then it should be possession for Fort Lee. If it's a timeout, Coach Gaskin will be granted it, and possession will go back over to Ridgefield Park. With 1 minute left to go in the fourth quarter, it remains a one-possession game, 42-39. Fort Lee has just not been able to put away the Scarlets here this evening when they've had a couple of opportunities late in this fourth quarter on offense. And this game amounts to so much, not only for bragging rights, but also when you start to look at the playoff picture, and it's never too early to take a gander at North 2 Group 3 Power Points. Right now, if the playoffs started today, Fort Lee would be outside looking in. They are 19th in Power Points. The top 16 teams will make it to the postseason. So a win here would go potentially a long way. I'd like to again thank our proud sponsors, as you see on your screen now, for helping us bring you the sights and sounds throughout the course of this winter season. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, and A. Matisic enjoying all the sights and sounds of what has turned into a thrilling game here from East Gymnasium. Fort Lee led by as many as 13 in this second half, but that lead has been trimmed down to 3. Ridgefield Park has gotten as close as 1. They have never taken the lead, though, here after leading early on in the first quarter. One minute exactly remaining here in the fourth. Again, with that timeout granted to Coach Gaskin, he has possession for his team. They'll inbound it on their baseline. So inbound it now to Francisco then. Valdez draws the assignment. Into the corner. Open for 3. Got it! First 3 of the game for Aaron Kukai. Kukai has tied the game up at 42 all. 40 seconds left to go. Ridgefield Park has 1 foul to give. They do administer that foul, so now every subsequent foul would send Fort Lee to the foul line, shooting 2. Aaron Kukai, the junior guard, with his first 3 of the night, the biggest juncture of this game to tie the game up at 42 all. That foul went against Francisco then. He's now up to 4 fouls in this game. No more fouls for him to give. No more fouls as a team. Jang cut across the middle, had a chance at a shot, passed it up instead for Valdez. Now Max Greenberg getting swarmed. Valdez into the corner. Jacob Greenberg for 3. No good off the front rim. Vickers with her offensive rebound. Dumps it over to Valdez. Valdez across the lane. Hands it off to Vickers. Loose ball tie-up. And possession arrow will keep it here for Fort Lee with 10.9 seconds left to go. 42-42. And a timeout's going to be taken by Adam Schrager. 10.9 seconds left to go. Fort Lee has squandered a 13-point second half lead. And Ridgefield Park has come all the way back to level this score at 42-42. The three-point shot was not falling all game long for the Scarlets, but they have knocked down 3 threes in this game, including Kukai's triple just moments ago. That has now tied this game up at 42-42. Fort Lee looking for that go-ahead bucket late in the game to snatch back the lead. Jacob Greenberg has 1 more timeout, has to burn it, as Fort Lee was having such difficulty finding an outlet for the inbound. It'll be a full timeout again, both teams not having any fouls to give anymore. Already Ridgefield Park is in the double bonus. Next foul would send Fort Lee to the line no matter the type of foul. Fort Lee trying to win their second consecutive game here at home. And also trying to capture their first win in league play this season. Ridgefield Park trying to snap a 2-game losing streak on the season. They lost against Westwood back on December 28th and then lost against Dwight Morrow their last time out. This would be a thrilling comeback for Coach Gaskin and the Scarlets. Fort Lee will have a chance here. 10 seconds left to go. Again, they get the inbound in. Here's Devin Jang across the middle. Elbow jumper. Jang, no good. Rebound by Ridgefield Park's Hannah. They call for a timeout. 5.4 seconds left to go. And now the visitors will have one dramatic chance to win the game in regulation. Fort Lee got it exactly the way they wanted it, into the hands of their best shooter from 15 feet away. Jang just could not get that jumper to fall. He's had a cold shooting night here. A couple of layups, only 1-3 for Jang, who's got 7 points. Fort Lee led by 11 heading into the fourth quarter, 35-24. Ridgefield Park and their outside shooting has come alive here in the fourth quarter. So now Fort Lee knows they have to get it done defensively to even have the potential to force overtime, or Ridgefield Park has the opportunity here for a thrilling comeback victory just before OT. Energy here now for Ridgefield Park. Fort Lee's got to dig deep, and Fort Lee cannot foul as well. They have no fouls to give. Any foul would send the Scarlets to the foul line to potentially win the game. Inbound to Hernandez. Hernandez across the timeline, bottled up, has it to then can't get it off in time, and we are headed to overtime. 42-42, the score between Fort Lee and Ridgefield Park. Stick around as we'll have some extra basketball, as that's going to be brought to you by the law offices of Deborah L. Pico, LLC, Sedona Tap House, the finest construction, and Fort Lee SC here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Now it becomes a game of psychology as well. Fort Lee led by 11 heading into the fourth quarter. They were outscored 18-7 in that fourth quarter. Can they find the energy and the confidence to get back in front and salt away this game in OT? Or is Ridgefield Park the more inspired side and has more pep in their step to find their way to an impressive come-from-behind victory? Fort Lee wins the tip to start overtime, and they will start on offense. Max Greenberg across the lane, looks for an outlet. Hard fall away shot, no good. Cleaning up inside, underneath the rim with the offensive putback is Devin Jang. Jang's got 9 points. Outside shot hasn't been falling, but Devin's been doing a good job with layup attempts. Jang has to be careful. He tipped it off of the leg of Hernandez for the turnover. Devin again is playing with 4 fouls. He's got 9 points, tied with Isaiah Valdez for the team lead. 44-42, Bridgman lead. 30 seconds into overtime. Greenberg on the baseline. That's a telegraph pass that's intercepted the other way. Trying to go with it is Carter. Inside, Echeverria missed it. Jang with a rebound. Devin comes out of the pack with the loose ball. Jang trying to get away from the defense of Francisco then. Valdez finding Vickers, flashing across the lane. Vickers trying to back down his defender. Gets it out to a wide open Jacob Greenberg. An enormous 3-ball by Greenberg. His second triple of the game. His first point since the first quarter. He's got 8. 5-point lead for Fort Lee, 47-42. A 5-0 run by the Bridgmen to start off overtime. Ridgefield Park still looking for their first points of this extra quarter. Across the lane, Kukai getting it back up top. Here's another 3 look, that time by Carter. He's knocked in 2 of the 3 threes of the game for Ridgefield Park. Couldn't do so there. Here's Devin Jang dribbling up a storm. Getting double teams over to Valdez. Valdez puts his head down, a blocking foul, and 1! Count the bucket! A foul underneath the rim that time by Echeverria. And what a response by Coach Schrager's team here to start off overtime. They have raced out to 7 straight points. Valdez now is up to 13 points in the game. And now a chance at the three-point play for Isaiah Valdez. Valdez missing on the foul shot. Vickers, a foul against Vickers, and that should send Ridgefield Park the other way for foul shots. So Valdez missed, and what made matters worse was a foul against Guy Vickers trying to crash the offensive boards. This will give Ridgefield Park a chance to pull a little closer, get their first points potentially of overtime with the clock stopped the whole time. 2:02 left to go in OT. Francisco then, who's at 5 points in the game, steps up to the foul line. 6 points now for then. 2 for 2 at the line. First points of overtime for the visitors. Then goes 2 of 2 at the line. He's 3 for 3 at the charity stripe. 7 points for him in the game. 49-44, and a foul whistled all the way back by Kukai, and that will send Greenberg to the line shooting 2 as well, as both teams over the limit. Max Greenberg with 9 points in this game. Missed on the foul shot, his first miss at the line here tonight. He's 2 for 3. Remains a 5-point lead for Fort Lee, trying to make this 2-possession lead. Greenberg is good on the second opportunity. He's got 10. 50-44. Fort Lee still extending their pressure. Ridgefield Park fought back valiantly in this game to force overtime. Kick out, corner 3. No good. Rebound underneath by Max Greenberg. Gets it out to Valdez as Valdez crosses the timeline. Time is of the essence now for Ridgefield Park. They trail by 6 with under 90 seconds left to go in OT. Here's Devin Jang. Jang with 9 points in the game. Fort Lee should be in no rush. And now the foul is administered by Ridgefield Park. Don't count the bucket. And that'll send Devin to the line to shoot 2 with 1:13 left to go in overtime. Jang scored the first 2 points of OT. On a putback offensive rebound underneath the rim that gave Fort Lee a lead. They have never trailed in this extra quarter. As Jang missing on the first foul shot attempt. Devin trying to become another Fort Lee player here tonight in double figures to join the likes of Valdez and Greenberg. But he can't. Misfires on both foul shots. Hope is still alive here for Ridgefield Park. They trail by 6 though. Coming up on 1 minute left to go in overtime. Then goes right to the rim, misfires. Rebounded by Max Greenberg. Greenberg gets it down the floor to Jang. And Jang will pull it out and run some clock. Ridgefield Park cannot afford to let a lot of time come off the clock. Kind of surprised that they haven't tried a foul yet. Now Venn will have to administer the foul. That'll send Devin Jang to the line once again for 2, where he just missed on his last 2 opportunities. .9 seconds left to go. Then picked up the foul. Devin Jang has now missed on 3 straight. Devin is normally around an 80% foul shooter. Jang finally makes amends. Goes 1 of 2 in that trip to the line. He's got 10 points in the game. 7-point lead for Fort Lee, 51-44. Kukai in the corner. Could not get it to go. Vickers with a rebound. Fort Lee starting to feel their way closer and closer to the finish line. They were pushed significantly in that fourth quarter. A valiant comeback attempt to force overtime by Ridgefield Park. But it looks like Fort Lee had their legs, had their confidence in this overtime. And it looks like the Bridgemen will find a way to hold on to a win here at home after they made life much more difficult for themselves. Not out of the woods just yet after Jang leaves another one short of the line. He's 1 for 5. Jang goes 1 of 2 again. He's now up to 11 points. Second leading scorer behind Isaiah Valdez is 13. Kukai again for 3. This time he gets it to drop, splashing it right in front of his own sideline, and a quick timeout taken by the Scarlets to freeze the clock with 26.1 seconds left to go in this game. Kukai had that three-pointer just before the end of regulation that tied the score up at 42. Now gets the 3 ball to fall to make this a 5-point game at 52-47. Again, a reminder, fans, special thanks to all of our great sponsors. As you see on your screen, we will be back for another thrilling league showdown when Fort Lee takes on arch rival Cliffside Park here at East Gymnasium on January 9th. Fort Lee trying to garner some power points in this one and move up the North 2 Group 3 power point standings. Top 16 teams will qualify for the sectional playoffs. Fort Lee right now coming into tonight's game would be outside looking in. They are 19th in power points. Still plenty of basketball to be played here in this season, but never too early to take a sneak peek and see where Fort Lee could possibly end up in the postseason. 26.1 on the clock. Fort Lee will have to inbound it after the three-point shot was made by Ridgefield Park. Devin Jang will bring it up the floor. Behind the back dribble, and the foul is thrown at him by Echeverria. .9 seconds left to go. Echeverria will pick up the foul, and that will be his third of the game. Jang hits the foul shot that time. 12 points now for Devin. 3 of 7 at the line. He goes a perfect 2 for 2 that time. He's knocked in 3 straight at the foul line. 13-point effort now for Devin. So that's what scorers do. Even when they have off nights, they still find a way to find points, and Devin's found that at the foul line. 54-47, 7-point lead. Time running out here for Ridgefield Park. Max Greenberg with a deflection. Greenberg trying to steal it back, then picked his pocket. 10 seconds left to go in the game. Pull up from 3. That time it falls for Christian Carter. His third 3 of the game. He's got 11 for Ridgefield Park. 1.5 seconds left to go. Fort Lee up by 4, 54-50. Christian Carter has come alive as an offensive spark for this Ridgefield Park side. He scored 11 points all since the beginning of the fourth quarter. And it looks like that is going to be the 5th personal foul against Cameron Hanna, as Hanna has fouled out of this ball game. Hanna will finish with 6 points for the Scarlets. Isaiah Valdez tied with Devin Jang for 13 points in this game for Fort Lee. A chance to give him the overall lead for points in this game. And he does just that by sinking that foul shot. 14-point performance for Isaiah, coming off the 18-point performance against Dumont last game. He has emerged as now a scoring threat for this team after averaging only 5 points per game to start off this season. And that'll do it as the buzzer sounds. 55-50 the final score as Fort Lee powers their way to their 3rd win of the season in overtime. 55-50 your score after it was deadlocked at 42 all after regulation. Fort Lee's offense, which was dormant in really the second half, they had only 15 total points in the entire second half. They put up a 13-point performance in overtime while holding Ridgefield Park to only 8 in OT. So with the win, Fort Lee will improve to 3-6 on the season. With the loss, Ridgefield Park will fall to 3-6 on the year. Fort Lee now 1-1 in the Big North American Division, while Ridgefield Park falls to 0-2 in league action. Again, a reminder, fans, that you could join us for our next home broadcast on January 9th, as Fort Lee is going to be hosting arch rival Cliffside Park on the 9th, while Ridgefield Park will hit the road their next time out, as the Scarlets will head home, I should say, next time out. The Scarlets will host Paramus on the 6th. So that'll do it for our broadcast coverage here from East Gymnasium. For Dimitri Nanis and Renee Matisich, I'm Dan Long saying so long. Thanks for watching Fort Lee Bridgman basketball here on YouTube. Take care, everybody.